Good evening. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I am Attorney Thelma Anderson from the Public Opinion Court in collaboration with the Reallyfe Street Stars, where we are breaking down every day recaps of the freaky Rico trial. And let me just say today, kudos to the defense team on the second witness, not the first one. Because the first one, they couldn't do nothing with him. But the second witness, and this is why I always tell people, especially in the legal profession, if you want to get shit done, call a black woman. And that's exactly what happened today. Diddy's legal team made sure that they had Mark sit his ass down. He do not get to embarrass them anymore. And our girl took on the second witness today. But we're going to get into that. As you are entering into the room, make sure you are liking and subscribing. So as soon as you come in, you should just go ahead and hit that like button so that we can get this thing going. Because listen, I can't say this enough. I cannot say this enough. The defense has to be very strategic about how they handle each and every witness. And they got to come with that heat each and every time. So you all know, if you're new here, we do a hot topics before we go into the Freaky Rico breakdown. And listen, today's hot topic, we've already seen the toxic dynamic of DDG and Hallie. So if you have been on social media or the breaking news that has been coming through YouTube, you understand today that DDG has filed a response to block Hallie from being able to take their son, Halo, overseas while she's working. Well, to give you a little background context, Hallie filed a restraining order last month against DDG, rightfully so. And the judge granted the restraining order. And let me tell you the basics of getting a temporary restraining order. You have to be in danger. There has to be a present sense of danger or harm at the time you are presenting it to the court. It has to be close in time to where the court says, hey, yeah, we need to put some legal measures in place to keep these parties separated. We believe, based off of the evidence and documents that have been submitted, that we should grant a temporary restraining order. And what they also included that Hello can travel with his mother, and DDG is precluded from having any unsupervised visits with Halo. And let me tell you why. Because the judge looked at it and said it rises to the level as such. So being that it rose to the level as such, she had a lawful restraining order, which is temporary, placed on him. And when you deal with individuals like DDG, and I'm going to tell you like this, Ruby Rose basically told her, like, girl, this is not him. Like, this not the type of look you should be going for. But what it appears to me with Hallie, she enjoyed the toxicity. She enjoyed the toxicity of who DDG was. And girls like that always do. Like, heck, I've been in situations where, yes, I have this career and people wouldn't expect me to date certain individuals, but you like who you like. And Halle liked who she liked, and she ended up with DDG, even with the warnings. So in us knowing, like, everything has pretty much been kept quiet like it should, but DDG has a way of going to his followers to create problems. He know exactly what he's doing. So today he decided, let me see if I can make this bigger. He decided that he was going to file a response claiming that Halle is an imminent emotional and psychological risk to their son. Y'all, the games people like this play. He said that she's an imminent emotional and psychological risk. Now, mind you, when the judge put this in order in place, the judge said, oh, okay, I don't see anything that would make her a danger to the child. And he has not had any contact with her in all of this time because he's not able to. So what he has done is brought up old information. Let me see if I can put myself all the way back. So here are some of the text messages that he's using in order to tell the judge, like, hey, she's not in any shape to have our son. Just say no. I know exactly what I looked at. I know exactly what I looked at. So sit back and allow me to go through it so maybe you will understand why he's playing in y'all face. Because that's what abusers do. And also, to add context to it, she was in the middle of dealing with postpartum from having a child and not having a man be supportive of her postpartum like so many men do. They think it's a game that a woman carries a child for 10 months, pushes that child out, and y'all automatically assume that that woman is going to go back to normal. No, that is when a man is supposed to step up even more to make sure that woman is comforted, make sure that woman has stability, make sure that woman feels seen, make sure that woman feels protected, make sure that woman knows that she has somebody to help her at every step of the way. I am a woman and I'm seeing it both ways. You are a man, you don't know what postpartum is, and if you've had a child, I would hope that you understand that postpartum is a real thing, and a lot of women have killed themselves because of postpartum and because of men that don't show up and support. They show up, you stick your dick in it, and you don't pull out, and you got the woman pregnant, and you go all these months thinking shit is sweet, and this woman is nurturing your child, and when the woman has a child, y'all think that a woman automatically goes back to who they were before the child. So miss me with that. Now, back to some of the text messages. So let's talk about how old these text messages are. He's submitting text messages from August 23rd, 2022. It has no relevance. None whatsoever. Halle, and you show these text messages to whoever you want. Laugh about it now. Goodbye. He responds, I was in the shower. If you want to talk, you can talk to me in person. Instead of eating food without me, I never eat without making sure you eat first. What a bitch. What a bitch boy. You eating without me, that's a bitch. That's sassy. Okay, I'm leaving. The doors are locked. You can come get I guess the dog and your laptop and stuff tomorrow. He has text messages from March 21st, 2024. He skips over. Hold on, let me go down. This is why this stuff is not relevant. On March 10th, 2022, Hallie texts, answer the fucking phone. Answer the fucking phone. I'm going to try one more time. If you don't answer, it's over forever. I'm not playing, Daryl. That's it. He texts, I just want to be left alone. She texts back, I'm calling now. I have a knife. This is from March 10th, 2022. We are in in June of 2025. Grasping for straws. I'm calling for help, but why don't you care? Why don't care do you? Whatever she said. And she says, okay. And he says, have a knife what? Now we finna go to 2024. He said, she texts, this is proof. You leave me hanging as a mother. This is when they have a child, not when they do not have a child. You leave me hanging as a mother. You don't step up when I need you to. I'm begging you. I just found out you slept with Lala in Mexico. I'm going to kill myself tonight. My son would not be around for it. I hate you forever. You can have him and let her be his mom. I can't believe he says, I can't believe you're acting like this. She says, you put your penis inside of her in Mexico. She also then texts, you have ruined me and all of my happiness. You hang up when I'm begging for help. You're the only one. Help. I don't know what girl, what? Girl, I don't know them abbreviations, and I am too much of an auntie to try to figure them out. And you're so focused on being famous and having money when you don't ever see what's in front of you. Girl, Hallie, you are making my eyes go like, how could you openly talk about, girl, okay, I'm done fighting with that. I'm done fighting with her text messages. I can't. That's like, that girl, Hallie. Whoo, what kind of, y'all, I gotta get myself together. Just say no. Let me respond to you. Because see, not only reading comprehension, but comprehension is so very important with the context of what I stated to you. What I stated had nothing to do with you having a daughter that you're putting through Clark Atlanta, or Atlanta Clark, whatever Clark it is. I know it's in Atlanta. What I stated was what Hallie is going through is typical of what men do when women have a child, and they forget and they don't even think about the fact that a woman can be experiencing postpartum. So what does that mean? Since you had a child 20 something years ago and things have changed, hormones have gotten a little more intense, well, not even a little more intense. That means that man needs to show up more in those very early stages of after a woman has a child. That first 8 months is very critical to the stability of a woman and her postpartum, because they have to rebalance their hormones that has given birth to a miracle and has carried and cared and nurtured and fed and kept safe an unborn child. So when a woman has a child and you have a toxic man like that playing with your mental, I don't want to hear any excuse from a man saying that that is okay, when she was clearly not even a year after giving birth and this man is playing in her face and her mental health. That may not be your story, but you're not going to come on here and discredit the fact that this happens more often than not, and DDG is a prime example. Whew. Now I'm back. So there was someone else that entered the chat with DDG and this situation, and it was his mother. Let me see if I can, if her information is up here. No, let me see if I can. Hold on. So his mom enters the chat. And the one thing I do not care for is mothers who excuses their son's behavior. I would never respect a woman that goes into the court and lies and creates these fake narratives for their son. And let me tell you, I feel like his mom has a motive. She has a motive because he takes care of her. He said it with his own mouth. My mama don't have to work. Well, guess what? Everything that you do has to pay your mama's bills. So guess what your mama gonna do? Write this bullshit. Write it. And I'm saying it's bullshit because it is. And women like her will continue to be a problem until their child unalives someone. So let me go over some of the bullshit that his mama wrote in his affidavit, because her son got to take care of her, and so she need him to work. I am the mother of Daryl Granberry, the respondent in the above entitled matter. I make this declaration based on my personal knowledge, and if called as a witness, I would testify. I'm saying testify, but I would testify competently to the facts stated herein. So she goes on to say, both George and I were involved in identifying and locating multiple Apple AirTags that were secretly placed in Daryl's vehicle. The first AirTag was discovered in June of 2023. Daryl called me that night stating that the petitioner had shown up uninvited to a movie theater in Beverly Hills where he was attending a film with a female friend. Petitioner called me directly that night, angrily stating that she knew Daryl was at the movies and made threats to fuck him up. George and I drove to the theater out of concern for Daryl's safety. Bitch, what? Your son has been linked to beating up other women, allegedly, by Ruby Rose, alleged that he was abusive. And you want us to believe that Hallie is a threat to a man that just told his brother to go and jump another man? Girl, get out of our face with this. Get out of our face with it. So, And they use these salacious words to try to invoke emotion. Girl, your son is a piece of shit. When we arrived, we saw Petitioner outside of the theater, visibly upset and attempting to confront and physically fight the woman he was with. I personally intervened and helped de-escalate the situation. The next day, George, Daryl, and I thoroughly searched and found Apple AirTags hidden under the seat. So my question is, you found those AirTags, but you didn't find out who owned those AirTags or who purchased those AirTags? Thrown out. Inadmissible. Hearsay. Lies. Your son probably planted it. We're not buying that. We don't even believe it. A few days later, George received similar AirTag alerts while driving Daryl's Cadillac. Although we initially could not find the device, the alerts persisted. So you find them, but you didn't get the alerts beforehand. Bullshit. Find somebody else to play with. Because wait, your son is taking care of you and a grown-ass man. That's the motive. That is the motive. Approximately 2 to 3 weeks later, yet another AirTag. See, this is why I'm saying, like, girl, get out of our face with these lies. Out of our face. And y'all have not put, there is nowhere in this affidavit where y'all have stated, oh, we called Apple and Apple stated these AirTags was purchased by this person or belongs to this account, or you didn't subpoena, not even subpoena, you can't even confirm if it was Hallie or not. In January 2025, I moved into Daryl's home because he takes care of his mama. That is perfectly fine. You just need to stop lying in our face. While helping clean and organize the house, I discovered a box of unused Apple AirTags in a drawer in Daryl's bedroom. All of a sudden, now it belongs to the petitioner who had lived in the home on and off. Now, y'all want us to believe Hallie left AirTags at the petitioner's home in a drawer that you can easily access. Mamas be lying. Mamas be lying. Mamas be lying. You can't explain how she got this scar and this bruise. You can't explain how her tooth is cracked, but you are focused on a goddamn AirTag. Let me tell you why the judge is going to deny. Because one, it is so spread out. It is so spread out to the point that you do not have anything to link her to this fake narrative. It is not going to survive because she has credible, recent evidence of the violence that he has inflicted upon her. We also have a recent brawl where he is going to be his brothers or him as a whatever they're going to find, maybe a co-conspirator, whoever, is going to result in criminal charges as well as freaking civil suit. So DDG is going to lose this. He's going to lose it, and he deserves to lose it, and he deserves to suffer every consequence for playing with women. And I hope that the judge grants her submission that he cannot talk about her. He cannot talk about their son on his channel. He needs to focus on himself because he is a problem. So I just wanted to go in on that with DDG because I'm so sick of him. I am so sick of him. But now it's time for us to get in why we are here. The Freaky Rico nightly recap. The Freaky Rico nightly recap. Listen, before we get started, make sure y'all are liking, and subscribing. And I'm going to give y'all an opportunity. If there was anything that y'all heard from the trial today that y'all want to talk about, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. Because today, y'all know yesterday I said that the Diddy team got their ass smacked. And when I say smacked, it was smacked so hard that I was just like, y'all need to get one of them Diddy IVs because, and it was more so at the hands of Greg, his main attorney, who sucks. They do not, he had the easy witnesses, y'all. He had the easy witnesses and he sucked. So I'm like, they got to have a come to Jesus moment. They got to sit down and tell Greg that you got to sit this one out. You are the Shapiro of the OJ Simpson team, and we just cannot afford to let you get up and continue to embarrass us the way that you did. So today we had a different result. Now, they did have an expert with the video, but I'm not going to talk about the video. We have exhaustively talked about the video. The video is an accurate and true depiction of Diddy beating Cassie, which also resulted in Cassie getting a $10 million settlement because they bribed the workers to give them the video and destroy evidence, which is also obstruction of justice. So many things. So we're not going to go into that video anymore. Just know the expert confirmed that it's a true and accurate copy or depiction of the authenticity of the original. Nothing was altered or deleted. So now we have Cassie's friend. And I'm going to call her BB because I can't pronounce her damn name. And I'm not even finna try. Just know BB testified today, and she was crossed by Westmoreland, which is a Black female attorney out of Atlanta that works with Steele. And I'm going to tell you, like I always say, if you want to get shit done, send a Black woman. And that they did. And that she showed up. And that she did deliver. But was it enough? I don't know. That's the jury's decision. I'm just here to break down the legal context of her testimony. So BB and Cassie have been friends. I think they met 2015-ish. And BB is a graphic designer and also a shirt designer. So when they met, they became friends. She testified that she saw some of the early stages of the abuse, which is why it took her so long to come and hang out with her and Diddy, because she was like, the man was putting belt to ass on my friend, and I just could not do that. And another interesting fact about Miss BB is a lesbian. Miss BB like women. Miss BB don't like pee-pee. She don't like pee-pee. She like women. She don't like pee-pee. So her and Cassie used to hang out. Cassie eventually told her, was like, hey, let me get you hooked up with our collaboration with Diddy. Okay, cool. So she starts hanging out with them on a consistent basis. Well, guess who introduces her to drugs? BB. BB, Brian, BB, Brianna, BB. So she testified early in her testimony that Diddy introduced her to ketamine, cocaine, G, Cocoa Puffs, like so much stuff. John, John. Guess what, John? So, yeah, GB. So once she confirmed the type of drug, she then started to talk about how he had her going to buy drugs. So she started buying drugs for them and supplying the drugs. Sometimes Diddy would pay, sometimes Cassie would pay. But she became more of a supplier to Cassie at times, supplying her with large quantities of pills. Now, she started, getting on drugs as well. She testified that there was one point where her and Cassie was trying to get off drugs. They were so drugged up all the time that it was hard because drugs was around them all the time. So them trying to get off of drugs, it didn't work. So eventually, the most prominent reason that she was testifying is because she adds to the drug trafficking, she adds to the intimidation, the fear, the force, the threats, and the physical violence. So let's go over some of her testimony. The prosecutor asked, Mr. Combs came up to you behind on a balcony. What did he do to you? He lifted me up and put me on the railing. Prosecutor, can you show us how he held you? She says, to myself. Prosecutor says, show us. How much did you weigh? She says, I can't say because of the drugs, but about 115 pounds. What did Mr. Combs scream at you? He yelled, you know what the fuck you did? I said back, I don't know what the fuck I did. Now, prior to this, she mentions that Diddy on one occasion comes up to her and says to her, do you know that I'm the devil? I'll kill you. Now, this was prior to the balcony. And y'all remember we were trying to figure out who was on the balcony. Who was the one that was being dangled? Because people were saying, oh, it was Wale. Wale was saying, why would y'all be playing in my face like that? Ain't no grown man then dangle me over no kind of balcony. So the prosecutor said, how long did he hold you? She says, how long it takes to say that multiple times. You know what the fuck you did. You know what the fuck you did. You know what the fuck you did. That is anything. Listen, you dangle me, that's long enough. Soon as you Do whatever you finna do. That's long enough. It ain't no time limit. It's long enough. So she asked, the government asked, what happened next? He threw me on the balcony furniture. Prosecutor, were you injured? She said, I didn't know at first. The prosecutor says, well, what did Cassie say? She says, along the lines, did you just hang her over the balcony? Then I heard her girlfriend is in the house. So Cassie is like, you really hung this girl over the balcony and her girl in here? Like, you doing this in front of company? Really? So he said, she says, he left and I left. I wanted to take a shower. I felt disgusted. I saw a huge bruise on my leg with like a piercing in the middle of my back and neck pain. So what the government does then, so after she is dangled and threw onto the balcony, she takes a photo. She takes a photo. And let me tell you what the government does. They took that photo and did a metadata search on it. And what the metadata search does is confirms actually when the picture was taken. So they do their own sweep before the government can come in and try to say, nah, you ain't take this picture at the same time. This is a different kind of picture. But because what the government does is they take that picture and they do a metadata scan on it. And when they do a metadata scan, it confirms the validity, the date, and it can also confirm other things. When you go into your phone, I'm gonna tell y'all, when y'all go into your phone, this is how they do the metadata. If you have a picture, go to that picture, scroll up. You can see the date, the time, where it was taken, like all kind of details. So that's essentially what the government had to do. Also, that prevented the defense from trying to say that wasn't an accurate photo. So in the photo, it shows the injury. So she calls her manager and they said, if you're scared of anything, just go to the chiropractor. They didn't tell her to go to the police. They didn't tell her to go to the doctor. They said to go to a chiropractor. And guess what? She did. But just like every other witness, nobody told them that it was Diddy. Nobody told them it was the Dister. Nobody told them it was Freaky Rico Diddy. And so that was pretty much the main objective of the government's questioning. They kept it short and sweet, which I disagree with how short and sweet they kept it. Because this girl was selling drugs, was alone with Cassie. She was doing so much drugs that the defense came in and like a thief in the fucking night. Like a thief in the night. So the defense comes in on cross-examination. You testified that Mr. Combs dangled you over a 17-foot floor balcony. Can you specify the exact location and circumstances of this incident? That's what I said. If you want to get shit done right, call a black woman. Off the rip, she's starting with that heat. She came in with a full clip ready to unload. The water was already hot from the first question. She responds, it occurred at Cassie Ventura's apartment in Los Angeles, September 2016. I was on a balcony when Mr. Combs approached me from behind, lifted me up, and hung me over the railing. Defense, in your initial interview with the government, did you describe the events as happening during a party rather than while you were sleeping? She says, I don't recall the exact details I provided during that interview. Defense. You mentioned that Mr. Combs threw a knife at Ms. Ventura. Can you provide the details about that incident? Yes, I witnessed Mr. Combs throw a knife in Cassie's direction. It came close to her, but I don't remember where he got the knife at the exact location or the exact location. Defense. Did you report either of these incidents to the police? No, I was too scared. See, this is one of the things that I think the defense needs to stop doing, is asking them why, if they reported it to the police, because now you are giving more energy to the fear that they continue to say as to why they didn't report it. You want the jury to automatically think that on their own. Every time they bring up about police, it doesn't make them look good, because it goes back to that power and control wheel. So the defense asks, you and Ms. Ventura had a history of drug use together, correct? She says, yes, we use marijuana, cocaine, ketamine, ecstasy, Molly, GHB, acid, and Vitacaine. Good goddamn. And some Cocoa Puffs. Good Lord. Godly. Jesus. Jesus Christ. Y'all, that's a lot of freaking drugs. That's a lot of drugs. One thing that she did identify that Diddy didn't like when Cassie would do drugs with other people. Hold on. Where is the rest of it? Oh, crap. Where is the rest of it? Okay. So then she goes into ask, did you sell drugs to Ms. Ventura? She says, yes, I sold drugs to her while we were working on the clothing lines together. Defense. Isn't it true that you and Ms. Ventura coordinated your testimonies regarding these incidents? So what essentially happened? So they are still friends. Let's just put it out there. They are still friends. They remain friends. It was never a question of their friendship. What essentially happened is, once Cassie was prepared to file her lawsuit, she contacted her friend and she asked her friend for permission if she would be okay with her identifying her name in the lawsuit, because of how much danger people could potentially be in, which that's a responsible thing to do, is contact someone to make sure it's okay for you to mention their name in a lawsuit. You are giving them a heads up. Like, how many of you would be okay with your friend putting you in a lawsuit against the biggest mogul in hip hop, and you wake up the next day and you find out, oh shit, I got the heat on me? No, Cassie did the right thing, but the defense was like, oh yeah, but y'all use that opportunity to compare testimonies, because soon as Cassie filed, she filed soon after. Yeah, like I want, listen, I'm gonna keep it a whole hundred with you. My friends better know I'm gonna stand 10 toes down behind you. I got your back, your front, back, your side to side, but I can only do that if you give me a heads up. on certain things like this to allow me to make the decision if I want to go toe to toe, flow to flow for you in that way. Give me that opportunity to say no. And guess what? You have the right to say no. That is your right. And that people just got to respect it. So Cassie told her no. BB told her no. She was like, no, I'm not doing that. But Cassie still was able to talk about the incident. That's why it was so many people speculating on who, what, when, where, and why. So listen, y'all, go ahead and make sure you are liking, so we can get that engagement up. It's so easy. You can go ahead and like right now. Then the defense attorney said, you have a pending civil lawsuit against Mr. Combs seeking $10 million, correct? Because before that, she said, yes, we discussed locations, potential dates related to incidents, which is not a problem. If you need your memory jogged, and this is why some things the government be doing, this is why some of the things that the government be doing, I'll be like, y'all are missing the mark. Y'all are missing the mark. And what I mean by missing the mark, they're bringing up the fact that she contacted Cassie to jog her memory. Diddy contacted Mia and said he needed to jog his memory. Are we missing anything here? Is that not the... I thought so. So she says, yes, I filed the lawsuit in November 2024, which is right after, seeking justice for what happened to me. Defense asks, did Mr. Combs or anyone from his team contact you after the alleged balcony accident? She said, yes. A day later or two, someone from his team FaceTimed me and said, I don't want any problems from you. So the defense went on to ask, you and Ms. Ventura had a history of drug use together. She asked this again, but then she started to ask about, she tried to go in and say that they were gay, that they were sleeping together. She tried to insinuate that because she was like, yeah, you had Cassie do this very promiscuous kind of photo shoot. She was in a t-shirt, nothing under, and the water was, all over her body, all of that. So she was like, okay, we not kissing cousins. We not kissing cousins. So what the hell? We have a good question. Does dangling her over a 17-foot balcony floor balcony constitutes an attempted murder because he could have killed her? Absolutely. California would have definitely done something about that, but she never reported it. So, but yes, you are right. In many jurisdictions, that would be considered attempted murder. That is just so fucking stupid. And she stated she was smaller at that time because she was on so many drugs. I just went over the list of drugs that she was on. They were on so many drugs, y'all, that I do not doubt that she has memory loss. Because that's what Westmoreland was doing was going back and forth and regurgitating the fact that, oh, you don't know if this incident happened at a party or the knife happened at the hotel. You don't know. But also, I would tell you this. There is an issue when the government takes notes. When I was a former prosecutor, when I would take notes, I would take notes to the extent of everything they said. I did not add no fluff. I didn't add no remix. I didn't abbreviate. I was that type of detailed note taker. But even more so, those notes cannot be admitted. And oftentimes, the witnesses don't get to see those notes because they are technically that person's notes to refresh their memory about the interview that they had. So she kept bringing up the fact that she was like, the government, and she was like, I don't know what the government said, but that ain't what I said, which could very well be true. No one is going to take down exactly what the person said or the context of how they said it because you don't know that person, that you are not them. But I do believe she was effective in how she approached that cross-examination. And if you notice, because her and still work together, you can see the similarities in how he approached Mia and how she approached BB. That is the reason why I said the strategy that they have used should be the strategy that Diddy's team adopts. So, hold on, I got some questions. The trial is becoming boring. Why, Tanya? They still got so much more to go. Still. Oh, and I got something at the end for y'all that I got to let y'all in on that I am predicting. And anytime I predict something, just know it's going to happen. They are saving the best for last, but we're going to get into it. Why wasn't she allowed to talk about Diddy trying to bribe her? So, how do I explain this? One, it's still an open civil matter. They got into it a little bit. Y'all remember Deontay, my favorite witness of this whole trial, the fabulous stylist, and he was talking about there was this janky music producer he had mentioned. That particular music producer is the one who called her after she filed her lawsuit and said Diddy wanted to talk to her. I believe because it's still open, there are just certain details that the court is not going to allow to come in. But I can tell you the defense did go in on her former attorney. Blackburn. Y'all, Blackburn irritated the hell out of me when he started trying to be Buzz Lightyear. He started trying to be Buzz. He wants to be the black version of Tony Buzz Lightyear, aka Buzzby. He fucked that petition up. He went in and put shit in that she ain't even tell him. She didn't tell him she was essayed. He put that in there. He put the mere fact that I guess when he picked her up, there was a little groping when he was trying to dangle her. He put it as essay. it was so much stuff that he put in there that was not reliable or from the words of the victim. She dropped him. He also is the attorney for Lil Rodney. Let me see. I know. She fired her first attorney because he was trash. He was trash and he fucked it up. And that's the reason why they're on cross-examination using his fuck ups to try to discredit her. So let me show y'all something. Y'all want to see something? If y'all want me to play this video, drop a thumbs up in the chat. Drop them thumbs up, and I got some questions that I'm going to answer. But if y'all want me to play this video, it's like a short video, but it's giving stalkerish. But I'm gonna give y'all the opportunity to say if y'all want me to play it. Okay, cool. Let's see. Where is the present? Share screen. Let's go on to Mr.
We're super to dad daughter, so I'm like currently calling background and then I was making a mistake, so I'm not saying anything.
Okay. Are you referencing anyone specifically?
Yes, several people.
Some of the victims?
Several of them, yes.
Several of the victims? Okay. Thank you. What are you guys looking at?
Tyrone Blackbird.
How will you apply speeding?
Just answered her and I told her they were not making any statements because of the bad order.
Thank you.
Just answered her question and said that I'm not making any statements because of the bad order.
How do you feel about people saying that you're a clout-chasing lawyer?
Just like I answered that woman's question earlier, I'm not speaking as pursuant to the bad water. That's how I feel.
Y'all, listen. Hold on, let me see. Stop sharing. So I played Lil Blackburn because he is everything that Armand stated, a clout chasing lawyer. And yes, that was Lil Rod. Shout out to, we got John Scott from Scotland. Come on, international. Give it. Thank you for being here. I know it's a time difference, but thank you for being here. I know that this is also an international style news case that people are paying attention from across the world. So I'm just, thankful that you decided to come in and tune in with us. But Blackburn has messed up so many complaints to the point where judges have called him out. Judges have probably sent complaints to the bar about him that he probably has the answer to. And he even messed up Lil Rodney's petition to the point where some of the claims were thrown out because of it. So yeah, he messed up that case. He messed up her petition to where she had to go with someone else. And I would tell y'all this in regards to, let me put back the PowerPoint. Oh, wait. Where is the PowerPoint? Did it go away? Oh, no, here it is. So there was a question about the settlement. When she filed her lawsuit, there was another attempt to tamper because the fake music producer that Deontay Hayes stated, who works with Diddy, called her and said Diddy wanted to talk to her. She didn't want no parts in it. None whatsoever. But there was a offer on the table that they sent that was rejected. So y'all tell me, and this is something I believe the state is also not capitalizing on. He settled that Cassie case within 24 hours. Y'all do know every claim, including this, was a part of that petition that was filed, and he settled, which means there was some truth to it. He could have put up a fight. He could have went to trial. He could have got the court to dismiss certain claims. But with him settling, what he's essentially saying, I am responsible. And this more than likely happened. I more than likely did this to this victim and any other allegations that are included in this petition. But the government is not using that to their advantage. Oh, we got another international. Welcome. All the way from down under. Yes. Come on down under. Yes. Listen, I can't wait to come to Australia, but I heard it take about 24 hours to get over there. And baby, I'm gonna need to be asleep the whole time. I guess 24 hours. 20, but I heard it's so beautiful over there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get there one day. But thank you for joining all the way from down under. Yeah, that's the same guy. So how do y'all know if R. Kelly's cellmate was actually his cellmate? I don't even know what that means. I ain't even gonna hold you. Hold on. Yeah, drugs. Yes, thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you so much. Listen, I love that. I love it. The bugs, Sassy Cassie, the bugs. Listen, I'm going to listen. That's on my bucket list this year for my birthday. We're going to Tokyo, and we're gonna go across the Japan. We're gonna go over there. We doing that. They have big bugs. Okay, I got off track, y'all. So back to the Didster. So this is my assessment of the effectiveness of the cross-examination. I do think it was effective. I do think Westmoreland did what she needed to do because, one, what she did, she got her to admit that, she was selling drugs to Cassie as a standalone. What she's trying to say is Cassie was doing this on her own. You was getting paid by Cassie separate and apart from Diddy. She got her to admit that they were using multiple substances. They also opened the door to argue that she was not a coerced victim, but an active participant in illegal behavior. I mean, I ain't gonna hold you, Westmoreland. She did her thing. She did her thing. She did her big one. She re-entered the no police report. I'm against it because, like I said, it highlights the fact that she was too scared. Like everybody else is giving too much light to that. So I would have let the jury make that assumption. But sometimes the defense feels that is that's an advantage. She opened up about their civil lawsuit that could be like her original lawyer was doing some shady shit. Like he fucked that petition up for the most part. They are re-putting in the jury's mind that this is financially motivated. And of course, going into the fact that her and Cassie was comparing dates and incidents and trying to remember certain things, which the government will have to come back on that redirect and rehab that. But that's something that the defense did. And she did it effective. This is just some of the things that I saw. I'm like, I gotta give her kudos because the way they got their ass kicked yesterday, I was like, ain't no way they coming back from this. But you want to get something done, send a Black woman. Now, some of the things that I didn't think that they did great was the fact of, I don't think they tore into the fear response and trauma because she was crying on the stand. Her emotional reaction was very authentic, very in the moment when she recalled him saying that he was the devil and nearly throwing her off the balcony. The obstruction was confirmed, and I don't believe that they put any holes into that. Her testimony when she said someone from Diddy's team FaceTimed her and said, I don't want any problems from you, strongly supports witness intimidation and is one of the predicates for Rico. Also, there was no denial of the balcony assault, just trying to get her to say it didn't happen a certain way or at a certain location. So she stood on the count that Diddy lifted her over the railing, screamed at her, and threw her onto the balcony furniture. Now, mind you, she had photos. They didn't, if you listen to the testimony, they did not say the photo was not a true and accurate photo. They did not discredit the photo of her bruises. That says a lot. That says a lot. So that's where I think that they were less effective in that sense. And this is where I went in to break down for y'all what her testimony, and she's still on cross-examination. She's not going to be done until tomorrow. And they're bringing in Jane Doe. But that's not my surprise. They're bringing in Jane Doe. So how she confirmed the the Rico, there are some predicates that she confirmed, like the drug sales, the fear based on control, that supports the Rico. But the defense did attack her consistency and framed her as complicit, which is important. She did give them obstruction, which is witness tampering, which is a predicate, which was strengthened for the prosecution when that FaceTime happened. Now, here is why I said the defense partially succeeded in poking holes in her testimony is because of the drug use and sales that she did with Cassie solo and sometimes apart from Diddy, highlighting the civil suit and suggesting that they were comparing testimony. So I always do is I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. And I think they were effective in that way. Did they win it all? No. But you gotta take it one slice at a time. Now, when I counter back with the prosecution or the government, I feel that despite the defense efforts to discredit her, her testimony still supports several elements relevant to Rico, including physical violence, fear based off of control, witness tampering, and drug-related enterprise conduct. I believe that the government on redirect needs to reiterate the narrative to show a pattern of abuse and the structure of the criminal enterprise that her predicates, based off of her experience and involvement, adds to. So this was, I'm going to give, because she's still on cross-examination, I'm going to give a little lead to the defense. I'm going to say the defense, just from this witness, if I give it to both, then the government would take over because the video expert definitely killed their narrative of this wasn't a true and accurate depiction. But I'm speaking solely on the witness that has the testimony and the experience with them during this incident. So right now, I'm going to give the defense a little lead. Tomorrow, it may not be like that, but you got to call it like it is. When one does bad, you got to call it. When one does good, you got to call it. Yesterday, I said the defense got their ass kicked. Today, I'm like, they got a little slightness. Like, you got to be fair. You got to be fair. I see some comments. Oh no, Sassy, I hope you get better. I hope you feel better. They were trying to discredit her and kept mentioning what was written by the lawyer is totally different from her testimony. Absolutely. And that's what the government has to reiterate. Diddy never being around my daughters at the same time Cassie will never be around my sons. Wow. Yeah, I feel like he's done. So let me see. Listen, okay, so you in Tokyo. I need you to DM me on Instagram at Lawyer Bay ESQ because with this itinerary, we need to know where to go for everything. Like, is the red light district in Tokyo? I know I'm getting off topic. Diddy couldn't do that with all that baby oil. Come on now. Who is Jane Doe? We are going to hear from Jane Doe tomorrow, y'all. Jane Doe is definitely testifying tomorrow after BB. He or she is definitely testifying. So tomorrow we gonna have the heat as well. I'd be real nervous if Westmoreland was questioning me. She is savvy with her question. Yes, Sassy Cassie, that's what I said. That's what I said. That girl, she did this. She did that today. That's why it's like this. She did that today. Mm-hmm. Uh, yeah. Y'all, these responses are spot on. Who is paying you? Because I was in the middle of the room and they tore that girl as apart. Craig, it looks like you have not been here all this whole time. Can y'all explain to Craig that I went over how Westmoreland did her thing today? Can y'all explain to Craig, who's late to the party, that I gave the edge to the defense after they got their ass kicked yesterday, knowing that they still have her on cross and the government has to redirect her? Can somebody tell Craig how we are fair over here? We call it like it is. If one has a good day and the other one has a bad day, we gonna let it be known. Can somebody fill Craig in on the etiquette of the public opinion court? Because clearly Craig just tuned in. You see, this is how I know he has not been here. This is how I know he is just tuning in. Because there is nobody in here that is having this type of conversation. Because if you were here the entire time, this wouldn't even be a question. Again, look at Craig, y'all. Craig wanted some attention. Can y'all tell Craig that Craig is loud and wrong? Tell Craig that he was late. Tell Craig to admit that he was late. Tell Craig that you can't come to the party with an opinion if you was not here from the beginning to get the whole story. Oh, he was in here using foul language? Oh, yeah, he was. I am going in September. When is the summer over? Yeah, Craig be Craig, and Craig act like Craig off of Friday. Emotional and jobless. Oh. So, yes, y'all. So listen, I know I got a surprise for y'all. I got a surprise for y'all because I told y'all I was going to let y'all in on some tea that I need y'all to be ready for, because I feel like this is going to happen. I really do. And I'm almost never wrong. But when I am wrong, I can admit when I'm wrong. But I feel like it's not going to be that. It's going to be, this going to happen. This going to happen. So before then, make sure y'all are following my personal page, Gloria Bay ESQ, or my business at the BYOB firm, where we help business owners properly form and protect. And if you are an entrepreneur, it's time to get your business affairs in order and just set up your consultation. Also, we have some announcements coming very soon with the BYOB firm. We have some announcements coming. I also have a book, Shut Up and Prosecute, that you can purchase on Amazon. And I'm going to tell you, when I released it, it became a bestseller on Amazon. So I was like, yes, finally I can tell the reality of what Black prosecutors go through when we are trying to equalize the justice system and show up to utilize the power in the right way. Baby, and I expose it all. The politics, the corruption, the lies, the discrimination, the racism, the sexism. Yeah. But y'all can get a copy or get a copy for your friend, your family member at Amazon for Shut Up and Prosecute. And don't forget to follow my YouTube, The Public Opinion Court. Subscribe there, as well as my TikTok. And join me on Fanbase at the After Dark at Loria Bay ESQ, because I do have After Dark after this that I will be going to, where I allow the audio room to be the audio room, raw and unfiltered. So now that we have, good night, Scott. Now that we have that established, I predict, because on the indictment, y'all, they have defendants that are sealed. So they have Sean Combs' name and they have defendants, which means that they have unindicted co-conspirators that are sealed, that at any moment, once this is over, they can drop them. They can drop who they intend on prosecuting as well. Tanya, you did the right thing. You are in. I did message you back, so you should be able to see it. You should be able to see it. I did message you back. But I predict that trifling as KK and trifling as D-Rock are going to be the last government witnesses. That's just my prediction. When they have that on there, and sealed means they ain't got to tell you, I predict, because if you don't know, they're looking at close to life too. They're going to be the last two witnesses. Yeah, they're going to be the last two witnesses, because the government has put them out there as the co-conspirator. They are not leaving it to the imagination. They are letting us know who they got their foot on the necks of. Is KK, D-Rock, Paulie, Roger Bonds. But KK and D-Rock are the top two. So if you think they have not brokered their freedom, No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He does not know. Because when it's sealed, it's sealed. Can't nobody get access to it. That's the difference between the government and the state. So let me ask y'all, do y'all think that the government is going to call them as the last two witnesses? If you think so, put a thumb in the chat. If you think that the government enticing that indictment, letting us know that they have unindicted co-conspirators, which means that the two that they are putting the heat on the most, like they have inflamed they so burnt that a fire extinguisher ain't gonna help them get unburnt. I think they're gonna be the last two. I'll be sure it's still coming up. I'm going to tell you all just like this. It don't matter what goes on the case. At the end of the day, Donald Trump. All right, Brian. Alice testifying. Alice testifying. And Caleb, I was not trying to put you in timeout last night. I promise. I was trying to put the other person in timeout, and you so happened to come in with your comment, and it clicked on you and put you in timeout. Above average. Above average. He objected to me. So earlier I was talking about DDG, y'all, and how Hallie was going through postpartum last year. And he said, objection, Your Honor, accusatory. I really like that. I'm not even going to hold you. I'm going to let you have this one. I'm going to let you have this one. You ate with that one. But I was talking about how most men do not understand what postpartum is to women. They just have the baby, and the men just think the women go back to normal. Listen, that is a proven fact. Are you few and far in between? Absolutely. Are you probably in a class of men that do pay attention to that? Absolutely. But it's also a man's responsibility to pay attention to their woman's moods, to be supportive, to show up, to identify those things. So, but you ate with that one. I'm going to give you that one. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Public Opinion Court in collaborations with the Reallyfe Street Stars. But tomorrow is going down in the paint. Jane Doe is going to be on the stand. That is another victim. We're going to see how that goes, because it's getting real. But I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. Get your questions, have your questions ready. We're going to vibe out. We're going to talk about it. We're going to hit the hot topics short and sweet. We may not even hit the hot topics depending on how explosive Jane Doe is tomorrow. So I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have an amazing Wednesday night and have a wonderful Thursday. Okay? See y'all tomorrow.